Hello beautiful people and welcome to my channel. In today's tutorial I'll be showing you guys how to sew perfect fitting waistbands on your pants trouser. So can you see how this waistband looks snug on my body? You can see that it looks quite fitting. There is no gaping around the side area, no gaping at all. There is also no gaping or space at the back. It is resting well on my body. I've cut out the pattern on fabric for the front waistband and the back waistband. So here is the front that I've cut out, and I cut out 4 pieces because we need 4 pieces. If you've watched the pattern drafting tutorial, we need 4 pieces of this pattern, which I have cut out on muslin. So this is what we have. This is what we have for the front piece. I'll just go ahead and open it up so you guys can see. So I'll set this aside now, and then we're going to I'm going to go ahead and show you the back waistband. So this is what we have for the back waistband. It is very, very important that you cut your back waistband on fold. So if you've not watched the pattern drafting tutorial, please go ahead and watch that. And I need 2 pieces for the back waistband. So this is what I have. Before we go ahead and attach this waistband, we need to know where the bottom is and where the top is. Do you understand? So right here is the bottom of the waistband that will be sewn to the trouser waist. What I'm going to now do is place the front waistband, place it on this side here. We're going to be attaching it to the back. Ensure that the bottom of both the front and the back waistbands, they are on the same side. Ensure that the bottom of the front and the back waistband are on the same side and pin down. I'll go ahead and do the same thing for the other side. Ensure that the bottom of both the front and the back waistbands are on the same side. So right here is the bottom of the waistband, right here is the top. So just ensure that they are on the same side. That's a key thing to note before you go ahead and stitch. So I'll just go ahead and pin this down. Now we have one set of our waistband. I'll go ahead and assemble the second set. So one set of this waistband will be on the outside, the second set will be on the inside. I'll go ahead and stitch up this part I pinned with a 1/2 inch seam allowance. So right now it's all stitched up. We have 2 separate waistbands. So this is the first set, and right here is the second set, like this. So what I want to do now is indicate where the bottom of these waistbands are. So very, very important, so we can align this properly. And once that is done, I'll just go ahead and flip one of the waistbands to the right side. We're going to be placing them on top of each other with right sides touching, ensuring that the seams align. So can you see what I'm doing? Ensuring that it aligns. And then I'll go ahead and stitch the top of the waistband, the top of the entire waistband, by a 1/2 inch seam allowance. We are only focusing on the top for now. So once I stitch that, I'll just go ahead and set this aside, and we'll be moving to our trousers. And right here is my front trouser. I've sewn the zipper fly on this front trouser, and I've sewn the crotch as well. So you guys should go and watch my zipper fly tutorial to see how I did this. I'll link it up in the description box. So this is what we have for our front trouser. I've gone ahead to cut out my back trouser as well. This is what it looks like, guys. Can you see that? And I cut it all the way to my knee. This is just a test garment that we are making. So guys, what I want to do now is go ahead and sew the crotch of this back trouser. So I'll just get my pattern and show you where the crotch allowance is, and we'll just go ahead and sew that crotch area with a 1/2 inch seam allowance. So after sewing, guys, this is what we have, and what we want to do now is to join the trouser pieces together. So I'm going to place them on top of each other with right sides touching, and then I'll be matching the crotch area like so. Can you see that? Can you see what I'm doing? So you want to match the crotch area like so, and then go ahead and pin it down so it doesn't move. And now from that crotch area, that crotch point, we'll be sewing from here all the way down with a 1/2 inch seam allowance, I'll go ahead and do the same thing for the other side as well. So from the crotch point all the way down with a 1/2 inch seam allowance. And then once that is done, I come to the side seam of this trouser from the waist all the way down, so with a 1/2 inch seam allowance. Do the same thing for the other side from the waist down, so with a 1/2 inch seam allowance. So once that is all done, this is what it looks like, guys. Can you see that? So I'll just go ahead and turn it inside out for you guys to see. But before we continue, I'll go ahead and give this trouser a press so that it lays, nice and flat. So this is what our trouser looks like. And after pressing it down, this is what we have. Here is our waistband that we've stitched together. So I just want to align it properly because we will be making some adjustments to this waistband. So you can see that the side seam of the waistband is matching the sides of my trouser. Can you see? And what we have right here at the front area is the waistband extension. Can you see that? So it is aligning with the center front of my trouser. So that part that I marked is aligning with the center front of my trouser. So I'll just go ahead and place the back underneath this like so, still ensuring the side seam matches, and then place the other front on top of it like this. So guys, if you want your waistband to have extension on both sides, you can go ahead and keep that waistband extension. But for this tutorial, I'll be cutting off one of the waistband extension. So can you see what we have right here? That is the waistband extension, which is sort of like the measurement of the zipper fly. Like I said, I want to have only one of the extension on this waistband, on the front waistband. So what are we going to do? I'll be trimming off just one side and I'll mark our waistband extension, which is a zipper fly allowance of 1.75 inches. So that's what I'm marking now, and I'm marking it from the edge of the waistband, which will leave us, with a 1/2 inch seam allowance to close this part of the waistband up. So I'm marking that 1.75 inches from the edge of this front waistband right here. Can you see that? So I'll mark it at the top and at the bottom as well. Just go ahead and mark that. And I'll go ahead and trim this up. So I'll trim this out. It will leave us with one short front waistband and one long front waistband. And I'll go ahead and stitch the sides up with a 1/2 inch seam allowance. So after stitching, this is what it looks like. I've stitched both sides of the front waistband. And I'll go ahead and cut off the excess at the points right there, at these edges here. We are doing this so that the edge of the waistband can come out pointed. So I've turned it right sides out and I'll be using my fabric scissors to poke out the edges, or to poke out those points there. We want the edge of this waistband to come out pointed. So this is what I usually do for corners. So I'll just go ahead and, press this waistband down. I'll just go ahead and press it, and this is what our waistband looks like after pressing. Our waistband is looking curved, which is exactly what we want. So I'm going to get my trouser now and we'll be attaching this waistband. So before we go ahead and do that, we need to know where the short part of the front waistband will go to and where the long part of the front waistband will go to. So I've aligned the side seams, or the seams of this band, so you can see that one is shorter and one is longer. So I want the shorter one to come to this side where we have the zipper fly shape, and the longer one will go to the other side. So I'm going to need you guys to concentrate on this next bit that we are going to do. So the seam on this waistband, just one part of the waistband, I'm going to be aligning it to the side seam of the trouser with the shorter part of the waistband on this side. I'll just go ahead and pin it down. So the shorter part of the waistband is on that side. And then I'll come right here, match the seam on the waistband to the side seam of the trouser. So we're only pinning one part of this waistband, and the longer part of the front waistband is going to this side. Then I'll come to the back now. I'll match the center back of my trouser to the center back of the waistband. I'll go ahead and pin this down. I'm going to come to this front part of the trouser now. Can you see that the folded edge of the waistband matches the center front of the trouser? It aligns perfectly. So I'll just go ahead and pin this part down. Then I'm going to move to the other side. Just place it like so and pin down. So this is going to leave us with our waistband extension. Can you see that? Can you see the waistband extension right here? So we'll be stitching the waistband, this part of the waistband, to the waist of our trousers with a 1/2 inch seam allowance. So we're only stitching just one part of the waistband to the waist of our trousers with a 1/2 inch seam allowance. I stitch all the way like so, all the way to this end. So after stitching, this is what we have. This is what it looks like. Can you see that the edge of the waistband is matching the center front here, and then right here we have our waistband extension. So guys, in order to end up with a neat finish, I'll just flip the rest of this waistband like so. I'm going to go ahead and match the side seam area. Very, very important. Match the side seams of the waistband to the trouser. I fold it in like this, then fold this part with a 1/2 inch seam allowance. So that will conceal the raw edges around the waist area. So once I fold that in, I'll just go ahead and pin it down. And then I'll be doing this for the rest of the waistband on this trouser. So I come right here to where I have, my waistband extension. I just go ahead and fold it in with a 1/2 inch seam allowance. Like this. Just go ahead and fold this in and pin down. So the entire part of this waistband that we have not stitched down, it will be folded in by a 1/2 inch seam allowance, exactly what I am doing now. And then I'll just go ahead and pin them down. So pinning it down like this also ensures that you end up with a neat finish while you are stitching. So after pinning it down, this is what I have, and I'll be stitching on the right side, just very, very close to that edge right there where we have that seam. I'll just go ahead and stitch down very, very close to it all the way around this waistband and also the waistband extension. So guys, after stitching, this is what our waistband looks like. Can you see how neat it looks? Even though I used contrasting thread color, can you see how neat it looks? See how the inside looks as well. So this is what we have for our waistband. So guys, where we have the waistband extension, it is going to be on the inside. The waistband extension will be on the inside. This part of the waistband will rest on top of the waistband extension. So if you want to close up the waistband, you can go ahead and use buttons and buttonholes. Another option is to use a hook and an eye. So the hook is going to go to this part of the waistband. Can you see that? And then the eye will go to where the waistband extension is. So depending on the width of your waistband, you can go with 1 or 2 sets of this. So that's entirely up to you. So I hope this tutorial was helpful to you guys. I hope now you can go ahead and make a very, very neat and fitting waistband for your pants trouser. So you can see how mine looks on my body. You can see how fitting it looks. So thank you for watching, and I'm going to see you guys in my next video. Bye.